occasionally to make sure the stream is good. I get you. Don't worry. But I know there's some people that always questioned my builds and wonder why I do the things that I do. And so this is going to be a bit of a disclaimer at the beginning of the video to let people know. Number one, I'm going to play this game how I want to play the game ultimately. Any opinions or viewpoints that I get from other people are to simply help me. Yo, do you got one seal? No, Grab, I do not have that one seal that you're wanting. Let's just do this. Anyways, so as I was saying, any viewpoints that I get from different players on how I should do my build is completely up to them to tell me and critique me, and in no way does that mean, in full or in part, that I'm going to follow what they tell me to do. Again, in full or in part. That being said, welcome to the video. This is the second video of a similar kind, and I'm more in a business fashion right now, so this is probably why it sounds like a little bit more neck and collar than most of my other videos are. First off, I was able to get the Date Masamune title. I'm the 526th within the line. This means that I get 60% Odachi affinity, 60% sword affinity, 60% axe affinity. It's been a while, but I like your builds. Oh, thank you, Batman. Now, this being said, as you can see, my stats are all over the place right now, because depending upon what mag set that I do depends on ultimately what I'm going to be doing for that specific build. Right now I'm running a build of 127 power, about 23 vit. I'm daring type right now. I have about 96 wisdom with the specific build I'm holding, 75 mind. That's unbuffed. It has no benefits added to it whatsoever. 75 mind, I love it where it's at, staying there. Now you'll notice that my dex is 133, which is not something typical that you see within a build, even in daring builds, like 133 dex. As you can see, going here, I'm currently running 2 Fafnir Novas, 1 with triple fierce slash, 2 with double bursting embers on it. Here, this is kind of like my weirder Fafnir, but I don't have lunge step because I'm Odachi. So I have Ensemble of Flames. I have different skills for different situations. My Zunda Saber is essentially my lunge step for me. I have two staffs that I usually like to run with per build. With this setup, this weapon setup, it's a Maximilian Cross, a double Invig, Meditation, Extended Heal Geki, Energy Ball, because everyone knows Energy Ball is broken, busted. Sue me. I like Energy Ball over First Aid. Here's the reason why. Let me explain this real quick. Energy Ball takes up no durability if you cast it out and it immediately does not hit anybody. If it sits, it doesn't take away your durability. That's because the game codes it as Super Sushi Time. Super Sushi Time and Energy Ball both have similar codings in that it's now just neutral territory. It did not come from your staff. You don't lose any durability because of it. Energy Ball can be either used to heal you or your teammate. And another secret tip about Energy Ball is that depending upon what weapon you're holding, that's how much you're going to get healed. Now, sometimes this procs, sometimes it doesn't proc, but depending upon how you set yourself up for success, you can be healed by an Energy Ball for 1100 a tick. That I can do that with my current build right now, but if I was to run like 4 event mags that give me 500 staff skill force, then I'd be getting a lot more. Now, that being said, I like Energy Ball for those reasons. I know some people prefer triple first aid. That's typical of the meta if you're going to create a solo staff, and I would highly recommend it. Well, let me add in my second disclaimer. Anything that I discuss concerning my builds does not mean that I think that you should do it, because you're about to see some pretty risky choices that I've made with my build that I would not recommend other people doing. Flat out. I'm going to tell you the reason why I play the game for me, the way I play my character, is because I'm Vlex. That's it. I'm Vlex. Case closed, into discussion. I'm Vlex, so I'm going to run my Odachi character how I want to run my Odachi character. If I was playing any other class, like Twin Blades, even though I do main Twin Blades, but not as much as Odachi. If I was running any other build, then I would probably follow the meta. That's to be honest. To be honest with you, straight up honest with you, I would run the meta. But I'm not. I'm running Odachi. With that being said, I have the mentality of an Odachi player, and we're already weird as hell anyway to begin with. So, moving on. My Staff of Ruin, you see Double Energy Ball, First Aid 5, Ogi Meditation, and Ogi Rapid Storm. I preferred the Ogi Extend Heal Geki on my Maximilian Cross as opposed to my Staff of Ruin, because the Staff of Ruin loses skill force the lower health you get. Now, I was able to supplement that in earlier builds that used like 2 Mags of Knowledge and 2 Wind Masteries because of the fact that I had what I had. I had 500 staff skill force anyway, so even if my Staff of Ruin got lower, like I got lower HP, so it gave me less skill force, it didn't matter because I already had max SF. But now it does matter, so I prefer using Ogi Meditation because it has a higher SP rate than the Ogi Meditation does on my Maximilian Cross. Ogi Rapid Storm, obviously it's one of my favorite skills ever. It's essentially me having to use a Moon King without having to use Moon King on my slots. With this specific build, double Lucifus, you know, double cooldown cut, extra holy. It really works when I'm using my Rev 3s because that's 40 extra holy on top of the already 50 holy a Rev 3 gives you. That's 90 holy. Makes holy empty Sky Slash a hell of a viable move in my opinion. Now, to that I say, again, refer back to my disclaimer. I am not here for criticism. I am here simply to explain my builds. Nothing more and nothing less. I know that sounds rude as hell. I know it does. But again, how I run my build, I would not recommend another individual to play it. Even if they were playing Odachi, I would tell them, follow the meta for Odachi. I would not tell them, oh, do what I'm doing. What I'm basically saying here is saying, do as I say, not as I do. Because as I do will not come out the same way. See, with both of my Wicked Wolf Tempest, okay? Let's look at this Wicked Wolf Tempest. 5 crit plus 4 dex, max SP plus 17%, max SP plus 12%. Typical, other than that, it's your typical Tempest setup with the primary element, and then your secondary element. I get 30 fire per Tempest and 50 wind per Tempest. So with a Wind Mastery, I get 150. Anyways, so I ornamented both of my Tempests. With my second Tempest, I got 14 extra dex, 3 extra dex, I got 26 extra SP, and on top of that, 13 extra HP. Now, depending upon what build I choose, these 2 Tempests can skyrocket and soar. Now let's go to my Segoyu. I really like my Segoyu. 24 extra crit force, along with that 39 extra Odachi skill force. When I'm wielding one of my Rev 3 Odachis, I max out on skill force all the way. Now, when I'm wielding one of my Fafnir Novas, I have 450 skill force without buffs being applied. So even if I go to half health, that's 100 extra skill force I get from my Tempest, plus the extra Addendums that you get from your Nova. So if you could somehow break the skill cap, I'd be breaking the skill cap. Anyways, so a lot of people would berate me for doing my Tempest, but as you can see, because I'm running high dex, since I got dex benefits from my Tempest, and I got good crits and good SP charges, my SP is sitting at 2,754 outside of my Rev 3s. When I'm using my Rev 3s, I have 3,000 SP. It's the highest SP you can have in the game. I like that because if I go to my stats here, I have 466 SP recovery. When I'm wielding, I believe when I'm wielding my Maximilian Cross, I get 490 because the higher mind you get, I believe, is the higher SP recovery you go. It's the same for both Wisdom and Mind, but I prefer, you know, having the build that I have. Now, the reason why I have my Mind at 75 is for Resurrection 7, 6, and 5. It's typical. Everyone probably knows this already. Res 5, 55. Mind at 55 to make Res 5 proc. Mind at 65 to have Res 6 proc. Mind at 75 to have Res 7 proc. Now, tidbit of information, you can fail a Rapid Storm check. You can fail Rapid Storm. I want to let people know that. You can fail a Rapid Storm. So make sure your mind, if you're going to be running Rapid Storm, is at least at the bare minimum of 55. I do 55 mind on my sword character. It's run really well with her. Now, moving on. Because my Tempests have the ornaments that they do, I have a critical of 44. I'm sitting at, I believe, a crit force of 254 with this specific build. I know it'd be 20% higher if I had a second Tempest on me. I mean, a third Tempest on me. I get it. Okay? But I have been an individual that hates doing everything cookie cutter. I hate doing things by the book enough in life, so I'm not going to do it in my video games if I can produce just as good a result or a better result in certain situations. Now, Affinity. Now, a new mag came out called the Chocolate and Light Magatama. You can get it from the event. I would recommend getting it. It has pretty low chakra count, so it can fit in my build. Now, what I like about it is this. Ignore the whole damage against chocolate monsters thing. That's not important, because once the event is gone, it's gone. This is basically a useless stat, the whole damage against chocolate monsters. What I like about this Magatama is this. If using Sword, Affinity, 35, and you get 10 power. So let me say that again, because I know I just said it in a very confusing way. You get 10 power here if you're using Sword, or Odachi, or Axe, and then you get benefits anyway from it being 35 Odachi Affinity, 35 Axe Affinity, 35 Sword Affinity. That's basically the same affinity throughout. If you're using a staff, you get an additional 10 Mind, so that's awesome, because if you're using a Maximilian Cross, that's 10 plus the 24, so you get 34 additional Mind on top of that. That's crazy, really strong. And you get 35 Staff Affinity, so certain skills will proc better and give you more stuff. So if I wield the Chocolate and Lynch Lychee Magatama, or Lychee, however you say it, it's weird. Then I wield my Mecha Headgear right here, and Itako right here. And let me put on an Odachi here just so I can show you the numbers. I get max affinity. With this particular build, if I do my affinity the way I want it to, with Itako and everything, I get max Odachi affinity. For my particular level, it's 11,200. I've never been able to do that before, so I thought that was pretty neat. But other than that, that's kind of cool and cute to do. But if I use a Lucifer, I believe I gain like a little bit extra attack. So in this particular instance, I would keep the Itako, because I get more fire element in this instance, more skill force. I get, I think, higher SP, and my cooldown cut is the same as if I was using 2 Lucifers. So that's like a particular build I like to use. Off topic question: how do flat earthers explain time difference? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Now, I really like to explain this. So I made this mag today, the Sparrow Magatama, and for you, those who don't know, I bet a lot of y'all already do know, is that the Sparrow Magatama has the lowest chakra count in the game. It starts out at a chakra of 2. And Spear Affinity plus 14, Pierce Element plus 5, but that's not what a lot of people use it for now, is it? What do they use it for? They use it for the ornamentations, because it doesn't give you any physical defense, it doesn't give you any magic. It comes out to the fact that, look at that, my chakra count went way down because of that 4 additional chakra. So this means that I can wield this other Wind Mastery. Now you saw that Wind Mastery at the beginning that I had, right? It was this one with a 40 count, not this one with a 42 count. This one came out to 42 because it's a double Fated Contractor and Unblinking Eye. Yeah, but I'm considering actual Magatamas, not marbles. I don't consider marbles max. Even though technically in the coding it does classify itself as a Magatama. Stream broke? Okay. Well, it's an explanation video anyway, so I'll just keep explaining as it goes, because I'm not going to be doing anything. Yeah, I know you can't see, but I'm just going to continue explaining things for y'all, even though y'all can't see, because I'm not going to be doing anything fancy. If I was doing something fancy, I'd fix it, but this is just for y'all to listen. I guess it'd be more like me just telling y'all things off of an old-timey radio than anything. So, continuing on, I know it's going to be difficult to follow with me, but please bear with me. Since my chakra is now at 132 out of 126. I can wield my Wind Mastery Magatama that has 42 chakra. And now I'm at a chakra count of 164 out of 168. Now, I have higher HP with this build now, since I have, what? Okay, just thought I should know. Like a podcast. Yeah, it's basically going to be like a podcast, I guess, because I don't feel like, gonna be honest with y'all, I don't feel like pushing y'all through another video, like setting it all up again, only because this is an explanation of my build, and you don't necessarily need to see what I'm saying. And if you need the proof, you know, you and I can talk one-on-one. Y'all can meet my character in Onigiri, and I can show y'all the proof. If not, then I hope my word's enough. You know what I mean? Now, with this 42 chakra wind mastery, I get extras. I get 24 extra SP. So if you add that on top of the hell of a lot of SP I already get from my Wicked Wolf, I have max SP. I get 12% extra HP, so I'm around like 18k HP. And I thought that was pretty neat. Now, there's another Magatama I have over here. I know y'all can't see it, but I think I'm more talking to myself than anything. Let's see. I have it here somewhere. It's kind of hard to find because I just now thought about it today. It's not this one. Ah, here it is. The Saru Magatama of Calamity. Okay, now the Saru Magatama of Calamity is a Magatama that not a lot of people talk about. You can get this Magatama from fighting General Shohoku, I think, in the Wardings. It's Assault General Shohoku. It's that giant new with a bad attitude. I remember, Jakey, I played along with from the Know Your Builds. Thank you, Ted. So see, even Ted can back me up. Now, the Saru Magatama of Calamity, I would recommend that y'all get it. I would honestly recommend, thank you for ever tuning into the stream. I know it's broken, you can't see anything, but treat it like a podcast. Just pay attention to the wonderful sound of my voice and what I'm saying. Now, the Saru Magatama of Calamity, if using Twin Sword, cooldown cut plus 25. If using Odachi, cooldown cut plus 15. If using Axe, cooldown cut plus 5. But however, you lose 5 power from this. It's perfect if I'm using it on my build that has the mech headgear, because my mech headgear gives me 10 power already, so it's only like the mech headgear is only giving me 5 plus power. Now you're probably wondering, why use the Saru Magatama of Calamity? That's because I'm already running a skill for, like a cooldown cut of, what was it? I said it was like 69. So with that being said, with the additional 15 cooldown cut that I get from, let me gather my thoughts here, from, like, you know, the Holy Taco thing, I get like a cooldown cut of 74. Now, if I put my theory to practice here and use 2 Lucifas, my cooldown cut will still remain 74. It's only like, how to get a pet. How do you get a pet? Oh, okay. You must be referencing the little blue fuzzball creatures that people were having, or the little scrolls. That's very easy to go get a pet. First, you're going to go to Onigashima. When you go to Onigashima, you're going to talk to, I believe his name is Dumont. You can't miss him. He's going to be a guy in red robes. He's going to have a little devil girl sitting to his right, and two gargoyle girls sitting to her left. If not, just look for the guy in red robes in Onigashima. You'll see him on your way out of Onigashima. So to the gate that leads up to the bridge, you'll be able to see him. You can talk to him, and he'll give you your first Kijimuna that way. Now, I have a 74 cooldown cut with this build. That means I am only 6 points off of the max cooldown cut of 80. I've tested it time and time again. That's what you get. Now, this is not for high DPS purposes. I'm going to say that right now because I lose a lot of skill force. I lose 125 skill force with this build, so I'm running like 280 skill force right now on my Odachi. If I were to use like my Rev 3, it'd be like 300 something, and if my Odachi Tempest came in handy, I would have like 440. TT, talk to you later, Flex. I gotta go. Okay. Thank you for tuning in, Fest. Now, moving on. This is basically one of my other builds I wanted to explain. Now, keep up the good work. Thank you, Fist. Now, to continue explain, this is basically for farming services. Like, this is a farming build, but in two different ways. Because I'm not using an event mag that takes away my durability lasts a lot longer, so I can farm for a lot longer. Usually when you farm, you don't kill the boss, right? You don't kill the boss when you're using your go kill 'em boss mode. Usually a lot of people don't. They just have their high DPS build and they move on with their life. I, however, want to think outside of the box and think above it. I want to go, well, what can I do to benefit myself more in that regard? So if I can benefit myself by giving me a higher cooldown cut, and if I get a higher cooldown cut, that means that, well, my skills proc a lot faster, and I can do what I need to do faster, which is clearing out all the drag enemies and then moving on with my life. Now, I can use the Star Magatama Calamity even though it has 45 chakra because of the Sparrow Magatama. And the Sparrow Magatama gives me a critical of 49. So there's other things that I simply benefit from that a lot of other players don't get to benefit from because I'm playing the game how I want to play the game. But likewise, there are going to be things that I do that other players will get the benefit from that I won't get a benefit from because they're playing the game how they want to play the game. Which leads me to another point. Play the game, I know I've said this, but play the game how you want to play the game unless you're doing completely trash at it. And by doing completely trash at it, I mean like you are being utter garbage. Like you're putting ice skills on your Fafnir Nova, or you're putting lightning skills on your Rhyme. I'm talking about that nonsense. Think outside of the box, but don't think outside of the box to the point to where you're wrong. Think outside of the box to where what you know you're doing is right, but you want to try and go a step ahead. You want to be a step above the pay grade that you're currently on. You know how the saying goes, wear the clothes for the job that you want, not for the job you have. So it's the same situation in this game. Build yourself how you want to be, not how you currently are. And that sounds weird, but set yourself up for success for later on in life. I know it's going to be a really weird stream for people to come and tune in and all they see is the little blacked out little internet symbol saying, your stream's broken, Vlex, what do we do with it? But again, people will get to benefit from it if they just listen. So, anyways, that was to explain the Star Magatama Calamity build plus 2 Tempest, which the 2 Tempest do the main carrying anyway in this build, and the Sparrow is there for that 4th Magatama slot, that cheeky extra crit. Now, I can also put this Sparrow build with the 2 Tempest with any of my Mags of Knowledge, since they run lower crit. Now, I have one, my favorite Mag of Knowledge here. It gives me 2 Confining Terrors and a Camp of the 8 Dragon Kings. I got 6 crit off of this Mag of Knowledge, I get like 3 Wisdom points, 6 extra Wind, SP recovery plus 11 in rank 1, skill force. I think I already said it. When I equip it, however, I get 55 crit. So that's to say that I'm going to be running negative on Holy and positive on Dark. So obviously I would use Magatama of Knowledge plus a Sparrow plus 2 Wicked Wolf Magatamas, Tempest for basically dark damage or just for the high crit, and would punish enemies with that high crit value. I can also wield a myriad of other Magatamas, but they don't really fit into the other build, into my Tempest build as other mags do. And I'll probably find other builds, that go really great with what I'm saying. But that's something I wanted to get off my chest. So basically what I wanted to get off my chest with this video was, I know how other people play this game. And I know how other people are going to continue to want to play the game. I'm not saying the choices that they have made are bad. Not by any means. I'm not saying that, oh, you've made this choice, you're terrible. You're trash at the game. No. What I'm saying is, don't make me change to fit your mold. That's what I'm saying. And I've explained my builds a little bit. I'm about to transition into another video explaining how I play Odachi and the way I play Odachi. I just wanted to get this Magatama build video out of the way. And I know I explained a little bit kind of how I play Odachi, but I didn't explain it in the sense of how I want to. So I'm about to set up another stream. Thank you for everyone that tuned into this stream or will tune into this stream in the future. I know it's less of a stream and more of a podcast, so thank you very much.